In the time that it takes me to tell you that police believe that there could be more victims out there, you can see how easy it is to remove a tailgate from a truck. And you're watching me on an extensive video surveillance system that captures everything that happens on this street. You could say the guy behind it is the Neighborhood Watch. The only thing they know for sure is whoever started those fires used one of these, a road flare, causing potential danger to 2 residential neighborhoods. Months and months of reports from Maximus. Email after email from Cummings and Kwong. Worried politicians making personal appeals to the governor. The wind is just still ripping through here, and there are a lot of hot spots that fire crews are keeping their eyes on. A peaceful rhythm created by the fury of fire.
We lost everything. We came out of here with a car and the clothes we had on.
Connie Thurston is haunted by nearly not making it out of her home perched above Biggs Junction during Wednesday's wildfire.
We didn't hear anything. We didn't smell smoke. Didn't see anything. Got to the front door and opened it. It sounded like a huge train coming through.
She showed me the mess Thursday evening, remembering how she and her husband scrambled to get their 2.5-year-old granddaughter to safety.
I grabbed her hand and we walked out through this back door. And I didn't know for sure if we were going to make the car.
Connie also saved her 5 dogs, but a 6th dog disappeared. Our cameras spotted a scared Cinnamon early Thursday morning, proof she's alive.
Don't give up hope.
Connie, who survived brain surgery and is waiting for a kidney transplant, spent all day searching for her pal, her thin voice fighting the powerful wind. And by some miracle, more than 24 hours later, just as she was getting ready to leave the property, with our cameras rolling, she sees Cinnamon.
We got her.
In the midst of devastation, they find comfort in each other.
Just so glad she's here.
She looks as relieved as you are.
You can't believe how elated I am that she's back.
He kind of had the whole package, you know. He was smart, he was handsome, you know, the girls loved him, his friends loved him, he was, you know, athletic. I mean, it was an amazing kid. He's been playing soccer for a very long time, probably since he was 5 or 6 years old. He loved it.
He coached his brothers, is that right?
He coached his younger brothers and 3 other little boys on the team.
You were the first parent that you could tell.
That I could tell, yes. And we tried to walk up by the tennis courts, and, you know, the officers told us everybody has to go to the church. So we went to the church, and we waited, and we waited, and I texted, and I called, and I started watching the kids come out of the school with their hands up. It was the most horrific thing I've ever seen. But I stood there and I watched every kid come out of that school. It didn't occur to me, I mean, I knew that the schedule was flipped upside down that day for finals, but I still thought Emilio was in the art building until somebody said, no, he was in PE, he was in the gym too. That's when I was worried, because the kids in the gym were the first kids out. By that point, I had shown pictures of Emilio to different officers.
So you were going around actively trying to find him?
Yes. You know, I gave descriptions of Emilio, I showed pictures of Emilio, and we were told that, I don't even remember what we were told, word for word, I couldn't tell you. But it implied that Emilio did not survive.
Emilio was part of a big family, Jennifer's oldest biological son and a brother to 3 foster children. What has this done to your family?
I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how we're ever going to be the same. But the last couple days has been a lot harder for them. They're starting to talk. Why did that boy shoot my brother?
What do you say to them?
I don't know. You know, I don't know why he did it. 1 life was taken and 1 life was lost. I don't feel anger towards them.
What do you feel towards them?
I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them because I honestly feel like they didn't know their son. Well, I don't know how many of Emilio's friends have written to me and said, I don't know how I'm going to go on without him. He always fixed my day. He loved the feeling of being able to help. He still is helping.
How is he still helping?
His presence is here. I don't think his presence with us will ever be gone.
All these are shorthorn. That's the breed.
It's where urban meets rural.
Not all these cows are dairy cows. Some of these are on a beef herd.
Scott Reed's vast farm tucked away on the outskirts of Northwest Portland.
I want to build one house on 84 acres. I've been working on it for 2 years.
Reed thought he knew every nook and cranny of his land until
We got a call from an agent with the ATF.
with quite a story.
And we had potentially a bank robber stash on our property.
Yeah, way up at the top there in those back in those big trees. It's disconcerting. Nobody wants that on their place, that's for sure.
Federal investigators got a tip that Bradley Robinette, who'd already been convicted of robbing a bank in Seattle in 1998 and was a fugitive on the run, handpicked Scott Reed's property as a secret hiding spot.
He's a loner, he's a survivalist.
John Hansen's the special agent from ATF who called Reed.
Let's go, Ellie. Come on. All right, let's go see what we can find.
He brought a team from Seattle to Portland
Good girl. Let's find it. Where's it at?
to search the farm for Robinette's stash.
Let's find it.
Only K2's camera joined the hunt.
Show me. Whoa! Yeah! What'd you find? Nice work, Allie. Oh boy. That a girl.
Yeah, there's one there, Henry.
They found the stash off the beaten path, buried deep under a canopy of trees.
Well, two for sure, maybe a third one in.
Large cases covered in camouflage holding some of Robinette's secrets.
Is there something down below it?
What is a shovel, knife, machete?
There's a toolkit in here, camping gear in here.
All things a man on the run might need to live undetected. Robinette did several years in an Arizona federal prison for that bank robbery before getting out in 2009 to supervised release. That's when he went on the lam, evading police for nearly 5 years. But last June, Robinette met his match hundreds of miles away in this parking lot in Hillsboro.
It was a good day.
Rookie officer Matt Schmidt was driving a police cruiser with a license plate reader.
3/4 of the way down, close to the door, and it just goes nuts, saying that we have stolen plates. To have dispatch come out and say, hey, he's got federal warrants out of a bunch of different states, and it was pretty exciting.
Robinette pled guilty to several federal escape charges in January. His arrest in Hillsboro eventually led Special Agent Hansen to an underground bunker in Sammamish, Washington. Robinette apparently built it and occasionally lived there.
Very physically fit. He's a good planner, very well organized.
That's what led Hansen and his team back here to Reed's farm near Portland.
What we'll do is we'll carry all this stuff up to the top of the hill.
I will skip the gym tonight. Yep. This'll do.
Investigators unpacked the hidden stash at the Hillsboro Police Department.
Here we go. And oh, this one is loaded. Got 5 rounds. It's got good taste.
3 stolen guns with a treasure trove of other military-type items.
Lots of knives. He loves knives, almost as much as guns. Here's a gas mask. Holy moly, that's better than the one ATF gave me. Wow. Ready-made burglary kit.
Then there's this, a real samurai sword.
So I'd hate for somebody who's hiking in the woods to come across it and harm themselves.
Hansen doesn't know what led Robinette to the farm in the first place. He doesn't have any family or friends nearby. It's a mystery that's part of the history of Scott Reed's property.
Sort of a strange feeling.
Even though Robinette's case is closed.
We just wanted to make sure that the neighbors knew that we didn't have anything to do with the ATF and FBI digging around the property.
How are you today?
Good, you?
Pretty good.
They're the sounds you hear in every restaurant in America
There you go, Bob.
on most days.
Lindsay will have to ring you up, okay?
But there are moments when a roar drowns them out at the Cornerstone Cafe in Rainier, putting the town on notice. Mark Overbay is the owner.
I mean, they stand like 20 feet in the air. I mean, it just fills up, you can't see nothing except the top of the building on the other side.
The restaurant, like every business on A Street, sits just feet from the tracks. The main thoroughfare for mile-long trains carrying crude oil from North Dakota along Highway 30 to a transfer station in Clatskanie. What are you concerned about happening here?
A derailment and an explosion. It could take out just whole downtown area. I think they're rolling bombs, really.
And if it happens, it might not be an accident.
I just want to direct your attention to the issue not of accidents for a moment, but to terrorism.
In February, New York Representative Sean Maloney questioned rail and oil representatives at a House hearing in Washington, D.C. He compared train security to pre-9/11 airplane security.
What concerns me very much is the possibility that an oil train could be similarly taken and directed and used as a weapon of mass destruction.
Is that coming over here?
I don't know. It's real hot.
How would anyone know in time? How would anyone prevent it? And they could do it where and when they wanted.
The scariest part of that question? We already know the answer. We won't know in time, because attacks like what Maloney is describing are already happening, just on a much smaller scale and right here in Oregon. In 2011, a train car derailed in Coos Bay after someone sabotaged a section of track, causing $20,000 in damage. It happened again in Bend. That incident caused a fuel tank to spill 2,000 gallons of diesel. South Dakota, Virginia, Montana, Oklahoma, the list of intentional derailments goes on. And all of them happened after Congress passed the 9/11 Act of 2007. That required the Department of Homeland Security to assess risk on the nation's rail lines and create a plan to improve security of things like railroad lines, rail yards, bridges, and tunnels. But Homeland Security hasn't followed the plan all the way through, so you have no idea if the tracks are secure or not. But we do. The On Your Side investigators took a first-hand look at the security of train yards around the state, like this one in Northwest Portland. The only thing keeping me out of this yard is this sign. Security non-existent. And how about this refinery up Highway 30 in Clatskanie? Its most obvious entrance is guarded, but we discovered access to the pipes and the trains isn't totally secure. This is the end of the line for those westbound oil trains, a ship-to-shore transfer center. We wanted to see how close we could get if there were a train here. We haven't seen any security cameras or fences. We were able to just walk in. It's the same story at rail lines throughout Oregon and Washington. Small communities like Rainier built up along the tracks, facing the most risk.
Never know. It's kind of like playing craps. You don't know when it's going to come up double zeros, you know?